Hello, welcome back, everyone. Wow, it's been a while since we recorded. We had a lot of wonderful blessings and things that have transpired. For one, we're now actually husband and wife now.
Yes, we are.
However, I know a lot of the videos, the whole purpose of this is that follow our journey. So some of the videos you're going to continue to see, we'll be talking about our journey prior to marriage, and it will work its way on up to where we are today. So just thank you, subscribing, liking, commenting on our videos. Our goal is to upload weekly. Hopefully on Fridays is the goal, to be able to release a new video. And just like I said, just sharing our journey and what we went through. And we hope that it would be a blessing to you in some shape or form.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about our premarital counseling experience. So that should be fun. How was your experience, Bit?
A very interesting journey. Yeah. It was more so what I expected. We did got some good nuggets from it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like having and getting the resources that you will need, because of course marriage is a long-term, a lifetime commitment.
Yes.
So of course, I was more so appreciative of the fact that we did got some good tools and resources to help us during the process of our journey.
Yeah.
So I would say that the process was a success, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way too. Do you feel like did you have any initial expectations as far as going in or starting our journey in a premarital counseling? Because I know a lot of times we may hear different things and, other couples who may have went through it and, what their experiences was. Did you have any expectations, or you just kind of I guess, went in? It's like, hey, whatever happens, just kind of happens.
So based upon my personality, I usually try not to expect too much.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be disappointed.
Right.
So I just went in, based upon the research that you did, I was more so a little bit comfortable.
Oh.
When it is that
I did some research.
You sure did.
I do what I do.
Yeah.
I just do what I do.
So it's like I was more so comfortable, but also a little bit anxious and slightly nervous at the same token, because sometimes you don't want to hear, the hard stuff.
Right.
And sometimes you have to be able to be prepared to hear, things that you might not comfortable with hearing. So that was the next thing.
Because everything is exposed.
Yep.
Hopefully, and that's the thing about it, is like coming to it honest and open.
Absolutely.
Because you only get out of premarital counseling what you put in and how open you are to the process.
Right.
Like if you just go in there and you just gonna hold everything back, at that point you just pretty much defeat the purpose.
I agree.
Of going through the process. But the more you can kind of be open and transparent, you can really get the benefit from it.
Yes.
As you talked about before, we are believer in Christians, and there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about how it's safety and counsel.
Absolutely.
And so that was, important for us to be able to go through the counsel and don't feel like, because of course we both have been married before, it would be easy to just say, oh, I've done this, I already know what to do and that type of stuff. But wisdom would tell us, no, this is new to us. We're two different people.
Yep.
And so we need counsel to work through things. We're perfect. So, we probably didn't really need it, but again, for imperfect people, they would need something like this, a process. So I really didn't, I had mixed going in, like it's the same way, just kind of like just letting God kind of direct the whole process. And like I said, not trying to have any preconceived notions or expectations, and just kind of organically flow with the conversation and where things are going. In hopes of it'll help our marriage just be a success, even if we walk out with a couple of nuggets. And I know the thing for us too was the fact the time frame of things, because everything was crunch time.
It was.
Like, and those who've been following us with the videos, we got married, we got engaged in 6 months and married 6 months later. So this whole process has been 1 year. Okay, so trying to get in all of this stuff and cram all of this stuff in has been a challenge. And of course, we got some other stuff we're doing now, which you will see in other videos. We're not going to talk about it today, but it's a lot on our plate that we're working through. But it was important. That's one thing we said, babe. You remember about the desire we both had.
I remembered.
Because even you talked about it too. You in your mind, it's like, we want to make sure we do premarital and everything, and so. Yeah, so I know that was real. Why was that real important? Why was that important to you, I guess?
So for me, I feel like, again, sometimes you want to dive deep into certain things that you want to bring certain things to the table before marriage. Because, of course, marriage is a lifetime commitment, and it's just making sure that, okay, we both know each other. We're both building a foundation, but having someone stepping in to kind of ruffle some feathers, or even to like remind us about the reason why we're getting married. Additionally, like you mentioned, given the fact that we're believers, using scriptures as a reminder of what God expects from us and how we are supposed to behave in marriage. Of course, treating each other with kindness, and of course, with the man, love the wife as Christ loved the church, and women, respect your husband. And what does that look like? So again, for me, it was more so of a reminder of what God expects from me and also from you, and additionally, how it is that we're supposed to treat each other on a daily basis.
No, absolutely. That, like you said, a lot of things you said, that's a lot of benefits from it that I think kind of just came out through the process. And of course, we're still on our journey, so we haven't arrived. And those who've been married before or currently for a long time, you understand that it's a process. It's a journey. It really is a journey. It's not, you just take one course of one thing and it's done. You're good for the rest until death. No, we're always changing. We're learning. We may be okay in one area for a season, and then the next time we're not okay at it. And so things change. And so it's important. I look at counseling and things like that as a toolbox. And it's like, and you're putting you're putting like different tools in there. You need your hammer, you need your wrench, your drill, all types of things, measuring tape. You don't need all of those things in your toolbox for every situation. You don't need a screwdriver for every situation. You may find a tool in there that'll work for whatever season of life that you're in within your relationship and marriage. And so I think it's just adding more tools and the more resources you have with anything, the more successful you can be, you can draw from. And so it's just, I thought that's really what I was hoping to really get out of the whole process. So did you discover, I guess, any differences that I know? Again, we're Jamerican love, so obviously you're a Yardie and I'm a Yankee, quote unquote.
You're what?
A Yankee. That's what it is. A Yardie. Yeah, ma. So she's from Jamaica for the new subscribers. And I'm born in America, so that's Jamerican love. But did you discover any, like, within the counseling that we had, any differences that kind of stuck out to you or jumped out, like, just, it could be culture or anything. Just kind of like.
So, I mean, one of the things that really stuck out to me during the process was, of course, you're genuinely a patient person. And so, of course, when the hard topic comes up, how we dealt with it together as a couple, I never felt like it was.
And were there hard topics?
Oh yeah,
there were some hard topics. Now, don't get it. And that's a serious thing. And I'll put that out there because people could do these videos and kind of look super perfect, like whatever. But we have issues and stuff going on like any other couple that and sometimes we have to just put it to the side and we'll come back to it and revisit it. But I wanted to make sure they're aware that I don't want you to think, because we're on the video smiling and talk about it, that we don't go through challenges.
Sure so, yeah, but for me, it was the fact that I felt like during the process, we were working together as a team. Yeah. I never felt like it was all team A and team B. It's like I felt like we were preparing ourselves for that oneness. Yeah. And so, of course, being reminded that, okay, well, this is the woman that I'm going to marry, and this is the man that I'm going to marry. And we're not against each other. We're trying to making sure that we provide clarity and a level of understanding throughout the process, so that we can move forward the way that God wants us to. Yeah. I feel like for me, that was it pretty much. Yeah. How about you?
I think that just how we may do things, and of course, you're a female, I'm a male. So they're just naturally different dynamics. So, and even culturally, certain things you may do. I think one of the big things is even interpretation of things. I've noticed too. That one thing we're working on communication. All right, that's just one. And of course, all couples and everyone, even in the workplace, you always talk about. We always on communication training and all that. So I think that's just a journey that all of us go through as humans, try to perfect that, because there's so many filters or things that can block communication. Yeah. And it could be language barriers, cultural barriers that kind of can hinder the effectiveness of receiving a message. And you could think you received it. And there's times where I walked away thinking I got what she said, and she walked away thinking she got, and both of us are gonna operate based upon the interpretation, and we both were wrong. But we know that's just something that we just continue to work through, and as we get to know each other more, because it hasn't been, we've known each other, obviously over 8 years at least, but from a relationship, it's not coworkers. For those who are just watching for the first time, we were coworkers. Now we are peers now. Well, I was her supervisor. She's a supervisor now. And so we're in the same positions now. We oversee departments at different locations, same workplace, everything. And so, but that's separate from personal relationship, like an intimacy, a real relationship. That's and different. So we had to kind of go through this process of getting to know each other on that personal level. So that could be challenging because it's different from professional. It is. It's different. How did you feel about because the interesting thing, even for our counseling, that we chose to go with, I guess, Christian based. Yes. So that was at least important for us to be able to have, not that even a secular couldn't provide. I've been to secular, but non-religious based. But it is great to especially hear your faith as the basis of information and suggestions and things that they're giving, and be able to reference scripture to be able to apply that in our lives. So that was one of our goals, to really search for that. And as like you said, I searched. Yes, you sure did. And I'm trying to find, and then the counselor, I would say she was pretty good. She was. She was very patient, listened to us, try to work through. Like I said, we laughed a lot when we went through the valleys, ups and downs. But again, I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like, you have to go through that. You have to do the work. We always talk about, that's one thing we talked about, even when we first started talking, was like, hey, willing to put the work in. Yeah, committed. Yeah. But I don't know how you feel. How do you feel about the benefit? Do you feel like it was an added benefit just having that, I guess, Christian counselor to far as connection to our faith? So for me, that was a big plus, and I'm happy that we decided to venture off into that route, because of course, in my opinion, a marriage is very essential. It's like when it is that you have Christ in the vessel, you can weather any storm. And so I feel like for us, having a Christian based counselor, it's like
it reminded us of, basically how God wants us to view marriage. And of course, that ties into our belief system.
Right.
And so those things were like gentle reminders of how it is that we're supposed to operate as husband and wife, and what does God expect from us. So I really enjoyed the assignments, the homework.
Right.
Those were good. Some we worked together and some was individually.
Right.
And so I really enjoyed going through scriptures and paraphrasing stuff and what it means to us and stuff like that. Those are information that I definitely held on to dearly. And it's like it leaves an imprint. And so sometimes when going through challenges, sometimes you need those reminders, and you can go back to those scriptures and reread them and question yourself and also meditate. And it does bring a refresher. So I mean, that was the top tier, and I'm happy that we went through that process because it has been very beneficial to us, I believe.
Do you have any advice, I guess, for those who may want to go down that road? What would you tell them? You think that it's suggested to do it? You feel like it is a beneficial based upon your experience?
Right. So based upon my experience, it was very beneficial. The thing about it is sometimes we as human beings can be very prideful, and we might not want to be totally naked when it comes on to disclosing information. If it is that you're going to withhold information, it might not be beneficial because you might think about the whole judgment and not trying to come off as if things are not really a certain type of way. And so you got to go in with an open mind for one, and pray about it during the process, because there were times I prayed about stuff before entering into the counseling sessions, because again, I have to remember that this is the man that I'm going to marry. And though we may have our challenges, another person is sitting in. And so I want to be very transparent, but at the same time, I have to remember that we're going to be driving in the same car.
Well, that's an interesting thing. Yes. Because we had to leave again, and it's a challenge because as you talk about things in the session, you keep in mind you got to ride back home if you didn't drive separately. So depending on how deep and how heated or whatever the situation is, it could be uncomfortable. It could be quiet for a while, and it's okay. Like, it's literally okay to be okay with silence. You don't have to try to jump in and break the silence or create this whole awkward thing. It's okay, because a lot of times when, I don't know, for you, like, you coming out, you're still processing.
You said that because that came to mind. It's like you're still processing. And so you might be silent a little bit. Maybe you're reflecting on what the counselor said, or what you said, or what your partner said.
So it's not always bad.
Always bad. It's not. It's not. But one of the things I can say is that every session that we went to, we came out still operating in a certain way. It was not malicious. It was not. It was more so of still loving each other, and also.
That about me wasn't malicious.
No, I've never said anything about you malicious.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, you can ask. But I do think that it's a great experience to go through the counseling session, especially you getting resources and tools that you can apply in your daily life to become better people.
And that's what it really is all about. I think that's the key: becoming better people.
Right.
Individually, because it starts with us first. As we improve ourselves, we're going to bring ourselves, like they always say, oh, marriage is 50-50, or two halves coming together. And really it's two whole people coming together, because you want to come to a marriage whole. You want to come healed. Those certain things. And of course, there's always things to work on. But you don't want to just bring 50% of yourself. So you want to bring 100 of yourself too, because that's what you're going to need to be able to be successful in the union. And so, I think overall, like I said, I would say it's great experience. We even decided to continue.
We sure.
Like I said, we're not sure, we're kind of in a transitional stage because we definitely want to use it as like a maintenance check.
Yes.
So like we just said maybe quarterly,
Quarterly.
just go in and just continue with the process because
Yeah.
life happens. Things are going to happen all the time. And sometimes we can work it within ourselves. And sometimes you need a third party. It's just what it is. Yeah, you need someone. When you feel like, oh, you get to talk all the time. I don't never get to talk. Why
Right.
come you always?
Right.
And so at that point, you really need a mediator to
Right.
ensure everyone gets the opportunity to
Right.
convey their heart and thoughts so everybody could be heard and things like that. And so I think that's one of the benefits of premarital counseling. So we would just encourage you all, if you're going down that track and you're going to want to go to the altar, you have someone that you're interested in and you want to establish a relationship, to go to counseling, seek counseling, because there's safety in counsel. There's not safety in ignorance. If you just want to be prideful, but pride comes before the fall. And that's one thing you don't want to do in marriage. It's a serious thing.
It is.
And so put the work in. We put work into other things, and go to school. We want to get a college degree. We sacrifice. You know what I mean? We want to get that promotion. We sacrifice. We take courses and all of this stuff. But for some reason, when it comes to marriage, nobody wants to put that same effort in that it takes, And so we just encourage you to definitely go on the journey, try it out. It's better to know before than later. I always say it's better to be proactive than reactive. We're going to leave it there. So
that was a good one.
That was a good one. Thank you. So again, I'm Derek.
And I'm Janelle.
And we're Jamerican Love. And we want to encourage you, please like, share, subscribe, and also comment, because we do answer comments below the video. And we're going to see you on our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.